The American Revolution is often portrayed as a heroic struggle for freedom, a tale of brave patriots rising against tyranny. But what if I told you that the reality is far more complex? What if many colonists actually opposed independence? Or that the war resembled a civil conflict more than a unified rebellion? In the next few minutes, we will uncover shocking truths about the American Revolution that you likely never learned in school. Prepare to challenge your understanding of this pivotal moment in history. Contrary to popular belief, not all colonists were eager to break free from British rule. In fact, a significant portion of the population, known as loyalists, remained steadfast in their allegiance to the Crown. Estimates suggest that around one-third of colonists supported the British, while another third sought reconciliation rather than revolution. These loyalists were not just passive observers, they actively opposed the revolutionary movement, fearing the chaos and uncertainty that independence would bring. This uncomfortable truth is often glossed over in textbooks, as it complicates the narrative of a united front against oppression. Understanding the loyalist perspective reveals the deep divisions within colonial society and challenges the notion of a singular revolutionary spirit. The American Revolution was not merely a war against an external enemy, it was also a civil war, pitting neighbor against neighbor. Families were torn apart, as differing loyalties led to bitter conflicts within communities. In places like New York and the Carolinas, skirmishes erupted between loyalists and patriots, resulting in violence and bloodshed that mirrored the larger war effort. This internal strife is often overshadowed by the grand battles against British forces, yet it highlights the complexities of the struggle for independence. The Revolution was as much about competing visions for the future of America as it was about fighting British rule. This duality of conflict is rarely emphasized in educational narratives, leaving a simplified view of the Revolution that fails to capture its true nature. George Washington, revered as the father of the nation, was not without his flaws. His military leadership during the Revolution was marked by both brilliance and blunders. For instance, the disastrous defeat at the Battle of Long Island in the summer of 1776 nearly cost the Continental Army its existence. Washington's reliance on unconventional tactics, such as surprise attacks and guerrilla warfare, was often met with skepticism by his contemporaries. While he ultimately led the colonies to victory, his journey was fraught with setbacks that are seldom discussed in traditional narratives. By overlooking these failures, we miss an opportunity to understand the resilience and adaptability that defined Washington's leadership. The American Revolution is often celebrated for its ideals of liberty and equality, yet these principles stood in stark contrast to the reality of slavery. Many of the founding fathers, including Washington and Thomas Jefferson, were slave owners who benefited from the very system they claimed to oppose. During the war, both the British and the Continental Army sought to recruit enslaved individuals, promising freedom in exchange for military service. This paradox raises uncomfortable questions about the true meaning of freedom and who it was meant for. The complexities of slavery's role in the Revolution are frequently omitted from historical narratives as they challenge the glorified image of the founding of the United States. Acknowledging these contradictions is crucial for understanding the full scope of the Revolution and its implications for future generations. The American Revolution was not solely a conflict between colonists and the British. It also involved indigenous nations, many of whom fought on both sides. Tribes such as the Iroquois Confederacy faced a difficult choice: align with the British, who promised to protect their lands, or side with the Americans, who sought expansion at their expense. This complex web of alliances and enmities illustrates that the Revolution was a multifaceted struggle, with indigenous peoples caught in the crossfire. Their stories are often marginalized in mainstream histories, yet they played a significant role in shaping the outcome of the war. Recognizing the agency of indigenous nations during this period challenges the simplistic narrative of a straightforward American struggle for independence. The American Revolution was not just a domestic affair, it was influenced by foreign powers that played crucial roles in the conflict. France, Spain, and the Netherlands provided vital support to the American cause, with France ultimately entering the war in 1778. This alliance was pivotal, as French troops and naval forces helped to turn the tide against the British. However, the involvement of these nations was not solely altruistic. They sought to weaken British dominance and expand their own influence. This aspect of the revolution is often underappreciated, as it highlights the global stakes of the conflict. The reliance on foreign support underscores the fragility of the American struggle and the intricate diplomacy that shaped the war's outcome. While battles and military strategies are often highlighted in historical accounts, the role of propaganda in shaping public opinion is frequently overlooked. Pamphlets, newspapers, and speeches fueled the revolutionary fervor, helping to galvanize support for the cause. Figures like Thomas Paine, with his influential work Common Sense, played a crucial role in persuading undecided colonists to embrace independence. The power of propaganda to sway hearts and minds cannot be underestimated. It often proved more effective than battlefield victories. This emphasis on public sentiment reveals the psychological dimensions of the revolution, illustrating how ideas and narratives can drive societal change. Understanding the impact of propaganda adds depth to our comprehension of the revolution, reminding us that the struggle for independence was as much about ideas as it was about arms. History is often simplified over time, molded into narratives that are easy to digest but may obscure uncomfortable truths. The American Revolution, with its complexities and contradictions, serves as a reminder that the past is rarely black and white. Understanding these shocking facts not only enriches our knowledge of history, but also encourages critical thinking about the narratives we accept. As we reflect on the revolution, we must recognize the importance of grappling with its uncomfortable truths, for they shape our understanding of freedom, identity, and the ongoing struggles for justice in our society today.